All you have to do is unscrew this cap, bring our standard potable garden hose up here. You want to make sure you use a potable hose. Just bring that in and screw that. And once you have that screwed, you can now turn your water on, and now you'll have water on demand when you're inside the vehicle. Here's where we're going to take and fill our fresh water tank. We want to unscrew this cap. Once this cap's unscrewed, bring it down here, take our potable hose, put it in here, turn our water supply on, and allow this tank to fill. You can monitor your tank panel inside to make sure it's full, and once it's full, you can shut that water off. The exterior shower, we just want to open the door up. Once we open the door, we now are showing our cold valve, our hot valve, and our hookup. So we want to take the end of our hookup on our coil hose. We're going to push in on this valve, push in, release, and now our hose is hooked up. So now all we have to do is turn on our hot valve or our cold valve, and now we'll have water that we'll be able to spray out the end here to wash ourselves. Here's our location for our cable inlet. If we're at a park that supplies cable signal to us, we can actually hook into that. Just take the adapter cable and plug right into here, switch our TVs inside to the cable inlet, and we'll have signal in there and be able to watch that cable TV. Along with that, if we have a portable satellite dish, we can actually hook into this as well. To empty the tanks, we want to grab this hose, bring it out, put it into our hole where we're going to dump the tanks. We want to twist this valve so it goes with the piping itself. Once we do that, we're now going to come back up here. We're going to open this door up, and we're going to open our black valve. Once we push the button up, the red light goes on, the valve is opening, it stops, and then we want to turn our waste pump on. We want to run that waste pump until the water starts gurgling out the hose, and you'll hear that. We want to shut that off. Once we shut that off, we want to close our black valve. Once our black valve closes, we're now able to open our gray tank valve, and we want to repeat. Open that valve, turn our waste pump on, run that until it evacuates and starts gurgling out. And once it starts gurgling, shut the pump off, close our valve. And now what we want to do is actually start to rinse our black tank out, which we want to do down here where we pulled the hose out. Right here is our black inlet for our tank flush, and we want to hook that up, hook a standard garden hose up here, turn it on, and allow that to run for approximately 1 minute. So we then open our black valve, turn our pump on, and again, run that until it gurgles, and once it starts gurgling, shut our waste pump off. And then you could do that a couple times. You know, allow some water to fill up in that tank, turn it back on. That will give you a good solid rinse in your black tank. Once we're done with that, we close all of our valves. We're now ready to retract the hose, which we simply just take our hose, take our real retract button, push in, hose comes in, we coil it, and now we're ready to put this back in and close our door. Everything we just went through is also on the back side of the door in this nice little instructional sheet. Hooking our 30 amp shore cord in, we just want to unscrew this, lift this hatch, want to align our little notch here with down here, so we want to align that here, push that in. We just screw that in. Once we screw that in, we're ready to hook this up into a RV 30 amp input. Now that will allow us to have 30 amps inside. Now if we're at home and we're at our house and we want to have a 20 or a 15 amp outlet, we have an adapter. This adapter actually just plugs in here, and once you do that, now we have a standard 110 outlet that we can plug in. We just plug that in here like so. And then also, once we have power into this, we have a blue indicator light here that indicates that we have good power going into our unit. Removing our hitch cover, we have 2 latches on either side. We want to bring the locks towards the inside or towards the middle. Once we release those, we want to push back on the little metal tab. Once we release that, we can now pull down. As you can see where my fingers are, it makes it real easy. Now we want to reverse that step, bring it back up, bring the top in so the tabs come in, bring those past. Once that locks in, and then we just want to slide those locks back out over the pin. Here's our LP remote fill station. We want to open this door, we unscrew this cap, bring the door down. Once we have the door down, we actually have our switch for our on-off valve for the inside of the vehicle, a quick adapter port here for our gas grill, and our fill station. On the fill station, you want to unscrew this cap, screw in our hose here, and open our bleeder valve while filling the tank. Here we want to take our hose into this quick connect port, bring that up, and we can turn our gas on or off with this valve. To the right here is our switch for the inside gas. So if we want that on, we have that in the up position, or in the down position, it is off. On the exterior of our van here, we have an outlet for 120 volts or 15 amp outlets, so we can plug any residential style device into here, TV, chargers, anything you may have. Along with that, we also have a 12 volt adapter, so we can plug anything that plugs into 12 volt here, along with a coaxial output, so we could actually plug our TV in out here and watch TV. The switches here are going to control our patio light on the outside, our step hold function, our tank heater, aisle lights, bath lights, and our ceiling lights, which are dimmable. On the tank heater, what we want to do is put that in the up position. In the up position, that's supplying power to our 12 volt heat pads, which will automatically come on if the exterior temperature goes below 44 degrees, and those will stay on until 64 degrees. Our aisle lights are just our lights at the lower portion of our floor. Our bath lights for the inside of our bathroom, and our ceiling lights in the on position, we will be able to dim those lights by pushing up or down. Our step is automatic, so anytime we open and close our door, that step will open and close. However, if we want to leave that in the open position, we can come in here and take this switch and put it in the down position or hold position, and that step will stay open anytime we open and shut that door. However, if we start our engine, that step will automatically retract for us. Just inside of our sliding door is our battery disconnect switch, currently in the off position. If I want to turn that on, I just simply push this in the up position and it will actually power up. As the light's flashing, it's actually engaging fully, and my 12 volt is now inside my vehicle. Now if I want to shut that off, I just put this in the down position and it will shut the 12 volt off and disconnect all power inside the vehicle. So if I do not want to use my remote power disconnect switch here, I actually do have a second option. That is underneath the lounge on the passenger side. I can open my door up underneath my lounge and gain access into that switch, which I can rotate clockwise or counterclockwise by pushing in and rotating clockwise to turn on, or pushing in and rotating counterclockwise to shut off. Again, make sure you push in before doing that. Here underneath the passenger seat are our awning controls and our light control for our awning. Here's where I can extend the awning, or I can retract the awning, or simply turn my LED lights on and tune the light in bright or dim. Here is our water heater controls. On the left side here is our on-off switch for our 110 volt heating element. On the right side here is to ignite our gas. If there's a failure, is the only time this red light will come on. Here is our power control system. Our power control system actually monitors the amps that's being used and will turn things on and off, such as your water heater, your air conditioner, your coffee, or your microwave. So if those loads would exceed, in this case, 20 amps, and you had your microwave on and your water heater kicked on at the same time, and this number would exceed 20, it's going to shut off your water heater. It'll do the same thing with the generator. It controls it at 20 amps. Or if you're plugged into a 30 amp shore power, we can actually just hit the select button and switch it over to 30 amps, and anything that would exceed 30 amps will be shut off accordingly from top to bottom. The bottom one is priority. Here is our inverter / charger control panel, which is Magnum. We have a 1012 series Magnum inverter / charger, which is a 1000 watt pure sine. And here's where, if we're driving down the highway, we're out dry camping, and we want to watch TV or power one receptacle, which is behind our driver's seat, we can actually turn that on, and this green light comes on, which is now energizing those three outlets: our rear TV, our front TV, and again, that outlet behind our driver's seat. And we can just simply push that button and it shuts off. Here is our generator. Here's where we actually start our generator. If we just simply push and hold this button in the up position, our generator would start. You do not need to prime this generator since it's an LP generator. However, if we want to shut it off, we do push it in the down position. Below here is our display panel for our solar panel. We have a 100-watt solar panel now on our roofs, and this is actually going to tell us what the status of that is. Currently, the batteries are at 60%. If I push and hold that button for a second, it tells me my voltage. I push it again. If I was out in the sun and I was bringing power in, it would tell me how many amps. Or in the solar amp hours, as it's running, this number will accumulate and it tells me how many amp hours I've brought in from the last time that I had reset that. Here is our display panel. This display panel actually will monitor all of our tanks. It will monitor our black tank, gray tank, fresh tank, and LP. I just simply need to push this button in the up position, and currently everything is showing empty. If I want to check the battery voltage on my engine battery, right here is my battery main. Just push that in the up position. If I want to monitor my battery in my house, I just want to push that in the down position. Here's my thermostat that's going to control my air conditioner and my furnace. So I want to turn that power on and go through my modes. As you can see here, we've got several options. Now I'm currently off. So if I actually come in and turn to cool, I can set my temperature up or down here. I can go into auto, which is actually going to switch back and forth from air conditioner to furnace. Depends on, what time of day and so forth, the temperature inside the cabin. I can turn my furnace on by itself, again, adjusting the temperatures with my up-down arrow. Or just simply run my fan. And then I can, again, shut it off. I can check my inside temperature by pushing in, and I can change it from Fahrenheit to centigrade as well. Here, if I want to adjust my TV, pull my TV out and move it around, I just simply need to pull down on this strap and pull out on my TV, and this allows me to adjust this TV. Putting our bed extensions down, first thing we want to do is take our clothes out and release that before we remove our bed or put our bed down. Then we want to pull out our little tray, so we lift that up, bring that out, release our bed extension, and then we come over here again, undo our Velcro, and allow that to come down. Now that we've got the bed extensions down on the rear, we want to remove the headrest. So we just take the headrest, lift it up, there's a latch here, pull that out, put this in a safe place, and then we just take and actually bring our bed down. Once our bed is in a full flat position, we will then take our sofas here, our chairs here, and we'll actually fold these out into the center. And we need to do that on both sides. Here at the Galley Sink, we just simply need to open the glass door, bring the faucet in the up position, and now we can actually turn on our hot or cold water here. When you shut this off, make sure that you do not shut it off with the knob in the up position, because what can happen is when you shut the door, this knob can hit the glass and automatically turn it on. So when you do that, you just want to make sure it's shut off and in that position. Now we can safely shut our kitchen sink. Here's our 2-burner cooktop. We want to open the lid. Once we open the lid, we can now ignite the stove. We simply just need to take this knob, push it into the flame position, push our knob in, hit our igniter, and now our flame comes on. Leave that on for a second or so. Now I can release that, that flame stays ignited. If I come over here and just would put this into the flame position and try to light it without pushing that knob in, it will not ignite. So I have to, again, push that knob in, push that button, it automatically lights up, holding that for a few seconds before releasing. Now before I shut the lid, I want to make sure that both flames are shut off, and now I can safely shut my lid.